All right, Emma, big mistake I see in affiliate marketing, going too broad. Health and wellness, make money online. Sounds tempting, sure, huge audience. But honestly, it's a shortcut to nowhere. You're just, well, shouting into a void, aren't you? Your message just won't hit home, really.
Yeah, it feels super intuitive, James. More people, more opportunity, right? But then you're against mega sites, so much noise. What's the main problem beyond competition, though? Because that's usually where people kind of stop thinking about it. Is it just that you get lost in the shuffle?
Well, that's part of it. But the deeper issue, Emma, is your message gets completely diluted. If your content is for everyone interested in finance, it speaks to no one truly. Someone saving for retirement has totally different pain points than a student managing their first credit card. Your recommendations just don't land. They don't resonate. It's too generic and therefore forgettable. You end up wasting your effort, truly.
That makes perfect sense. So it's not just getting outcompeted, but your message's effectiveness. You're trying to be everything to everyone and become nothing distinct. So what's the alternative then? What are we actually aiming for with this affiliate alchemy approach, James?
Precisely. We're aiming for a hyper niche. It's not just a niche, Emma. It's like a sub-niche of a sub-niche, really specific. Instead of health and wellness, think gluten-free meal prep for busy single parents, or affiliate marketing for ethical handmade craft sellers. Really drilling down, super granular.
Wow. Okay, that's a huge difference. Specificity on steroids. But what makes it hyper, James? Is it just the level of detail? Because gluten-free is already a niche. So adding meal prep for busy single parents feels almost too much, maybe. Is there a specific criteria?
That's the hyper bit, Emma. The criteria: your audience has a very specific, shared problem, a unique demographic, and they already congregate somewhere. Online forums, Facebook groups, subreddits. They're actively searching for solutions to that particular problem. You're not creating demand, you're tapping into intense existing demand. That's the magic, honestly.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. So it's not just small, it's identifiably small and highly engaged. A group with a really specific need, and they're already talking about it and looking for answers. But why? Why even bother going that small, James? What are the actual benefits?
The advantages of a hyper niche are just immense, Emma. First off, dramatically less competition. You're not fighting thousands for weight loss, you're one of a few for vegan weight loss for triathletes. Secondly, your conversion rates usually skyrocket. Your message resonates so deeply because you're literally speaking their language, addressing their exact pain points.
Oh, that makes total sense. Less competition, higher conversions. It's like instead of being a general practitioner for everyone, you're a specialist surgeon for a very particular ailment. People will trust you more and they'll be more willing to listen to your recommendations, right? Because you're the expert in their precise problem area. What else, though?
Absolutely. Building authority becomes so much easier, Emma. You become the go-to person, the expert for that tiny specific group. And it's just easier to target your audience. Running ads for health and wellness is like throwing spaghetti. But gluten-free meal prep for busy single parents, you target specific groups. Your marketing budget goes further, returns are better. It's a proper game changer.
Wow. So it's not just about having an easier time selling, but also about becoming a recognized authority faster and even making your advertising more effectively. That really changes the whole picture. So, James, how do you even start to uncover these hyper niches? Because it feels like finding a needle in a haystack initially, doesn't it?
Right, so you're convinced then? Good. Now, finding these hyper niches isn't always obvious, but there's a process. First, start with your own passions or expertise. What are you already deeply interested in or good at? The stuff you could talk about for hours without getting bored. That passion, it really helps with creating authentic content.
Okay, so personal interest is a starting point. That makes sense. You'll be more engaged. But what if your passion is like collecting rare 19th century teacups? Is there actually a market for that? How do you know if it's viable? Because passion alone won't pay the bills, will it, if nobody's actually looking for solutions?
Good question, Emma. That leads to the second step, pain points. Within your passion, or just generally, what problems do people struggle with? For your teacup example, maybe it's restoring delicate antique teacups without damaging them, or finding authentic dealers. There's usually a problem. Then look for communities around those problems. Are people asking questions on forums? If there's chatter, there's interest. That's your validation, right there.
Ah, I see. So it's passion meets problem meets existing conversation. That makes a lot more sense. It's like connecting the dots, you know? But what if you don't have a super obvious passion, or you're just not sure how to like drill down into those pain points effectively? Are there like specific tools for that, James?
Absolutely, Emma. This is where the detective work truly kicks in. First tool, keyword research. Use Ahrefs, SEMrush, even Google's Keyword Planner. Look for long-tail keywords. These are specific phrases people type, like best affiliate programs for pet food delivery for elderly dog owners. They reveal very specific intent, don't they?
Oh, keyword research. Right. I'm pretty familiar with that from my tech reviews. But focusing on those super long tail ones, that's key. So, not just dog food, but like organic, grain free dog food for small breeds with allergies. Got it. What else, though? Beyond search queries, where can you find these little pockets of super specific interest?
Well, next, competitor analysis, but with a twist. Look for smaller blogs, YouTube channels, niche forums already serving a niche. What questions are they getting? What comments are people leaving? See what they aren't addressing. Then definitely forum lurking. Reddit, specialized communities, Facebook groups. People openly discuss their problems there. They're telling you exactly what they need, often quite specifically.
That's clever. So essentially, you're looking for gaps and listening to what people are genuinely struggling with in those smaller communities. It's like ethnographic research for affiliates. And I guess social media trends could also play a part, like watching what hashtags are bubbling up in particular communities, for example.
You're absolutely spot on, Emma. Social media trends, specialized hashtags, brilliant for uncovering those immediate pain points. Now, once you've nailed down your hyper niche, the next crucial step is crafting your message. And here's where you truly shine. Speak their language. Use the jargon they use. Understand their specific anxieties, their specific hopes. It shows you genuinely get them.
Okay, so it's about mirroring their language and really getting into their headspace. Like, if my hyper niche is sustainable gardening for urban apartment dwellers, I wouldn't talk about acres of land or industrial composters, right? I'd focus on balcony gardens, vertical planters, small space solutions. What about product recommendations? Does that change how you approach them too?
Precisely. Your product recommendations become incredibly targeted. You're not just recommending a gardening tool, you're suggesting the best compact hydroponic system for a north-facing apartment balcony. You know, every recommendation should feel tailor-made for their exact situation. It's about solving their specific problem with the most appropriate solution. That's how you build genuine trust and drive conversions, honestly.
Wow, that makes so much sense. So it's not just about finding the right niche, but also about becoming like the ultimate problem solver within it. And I guess that applies to your content format too, like short, punchy videos for busy parents, maybe longer, detailed guides for someone into intricate antique restoration. It all ties back to understanding that specific audience, eh?
Exactly, Emma. Content format, tone, even the platforms you use, it all flows from understanding your hyper niche deeply. Now, a lot of folks worry, what if my hyper niche is too small to grow? And that's fair. But the beauty is, once you've dominated one hyper niche, you can carefully, and I stress carefully, expand. You don't just jump to a broad niche, you look for adjacent hyper niches.
Okay, so it's not like you abandon your hyper niche, but you kind of branch out sideways. Can you give me an example? Like, if I'm the gluten-free meal prep for busy single parents expert, what would an adjacent hyper niche look like? Would it be like keto meal prep for busy single parents or something else entirely, James?
Spot on. Keto meal prep for busy single parents is a brilliant example. You leverage your existing authority, your existing audience, a subset of whom might be interested in keto, and you apply your established approach. Or it could be time-saving breakfast recipes for busy single parents. See, you're not losing focus, just expanding to a closely related, still very specific problem for the same core demographic. Smart, incremental growth, not a complete pivot.
I get it. So it's like you build a strong foundation in one really specific area, become the absolute go-to, and then you look for logical next steps for that same audience, rather than trying to start from scratch with a whole new group. That sounds like a much more sustainable growth strategy than just throwing everything at the wall.
Absolutely, Emma. It's about sustainable growth. And, we see this working really well in the wild. Think of one popular example, vegan bodybuilding supplements for women over 40. Now, that's incredibly specific, isn't it? But for that demographic, the options are limited and the need is intense. Someone catering specifically to that group can absolutely dominate, truly.
Wow, that's a super specific one. I mean, I would never have thought of combining all those elements. So they're not just selling vegan protein powder, they're selling the solution to a very specific lifestyle and age-related fitness goal. What about another example, James? Something maybe less about health, if you have one.
Of course. How about ergonomic home office setups for remote software developers with chronic back pain? Again, you're seeing a combination of factors: remote work, a specific profession, and a very common health issue. This person isn't just selling office chairs, they're selling a pain-free, productive work environment tailored to a developer's needs. The trust factor is just immense there because they understand the specific suffering.
That's incredible. It's like they're not just recommending products, they're offering a full curated solution for a deeply felt problem. And because it's so specific, those developers are probably actively searching for exactly that kind of help. So the conversions must be through the roof because it feels so personal, doesn't it? Rather than just another generic product review site.
Precisely, Emma. The personalization is what drives it. Now, while hyper-niching is powerful, there are pitfalls, right? First, don't go too narrow where there are literally no potential customers. You need that intense demand we talked about. There's a sweet spot, between ultra-specific and a completely non-existent market, if that makes sense.
Right, so a tiny group is good, but a non-existent one is obviously not ideal. How do you tell the difference, James? Where's that line? Is it just about seeing if people are actually searching for solutions to that super specific problem? Because I imagine that could be a bit tricky to gauge sometimes, couldn't it?
Exactly. That's where your keyword research and forum lurking really come into play. If you're finding zero search volume for your long-tail keywords or absolutely no discussions in online communities, then yeah, it might be too small. Another pitfall is lacking passion. If you're not genuinely interested, it becomes a chore, and your content will reflect that. Authenticity really, really matters with hyper niches because your audience is so tuned in.
Oh, that's huge, isn't it? If you're just chasing a trend or a potentially profitable niche, it'll show. And that audience, being so specific, they'll pick up on that fakeness, I guess. So, passion and market validation are both crucial. Anything else we should definitely steer clear of when diving into this, James?
Definitely. One last pitfall: not validating your ideas before you dive in. Don't spend months building a site only to find no one cares. Test the waters. Put out a few pieces of content, run a small ad campaign, see the engagement. Quick validation is key, Emma. Right, so actionable steps for anyone listening right now.
Okay, I'm ready for the homework. So, what should someone do like this week to start applying this whole hyper niche strategy? Because it sounds incredibly powerful, and I'm genuinely excited about it myself, actually. Where do they begin, James, to really make this happen?
First, brainstorm personal passions, hobbies, skills. Make a big list. Second, within those, identify specific pain points. Third, jump onto Google, Reddit, Facebook groups, search for those pain points. Are people talking, asking questions? Use long-tail keywords. You're looking for existing conversations. That's your goldmine, Emma. Find that intensely engaged, underserved group, and, well, you're on your way to affiliate alchemy.